Hello everyone, this is Josh from appcourse.io, and in today's video, you'll get the most extraordinary Figma file you'll find on all of YouTube. You'll receive a download link to a Figma file where you can find the complete Airbnb app. Not only does it include all Airbnb screens, but also components that you can easily customize and modify. We have a lot of different screens and components in this video, and if you want to learn how to create apps from the absolute beginning, I would like to recommend my video course to you. On my website, appcourse.io, you will find over 150 videos in which you will learn how to create professional apps right from the start. You will also receive useful Figma resources that will make your work easier and faster. And anyone interested in this course gets a free trial with 10 videos and free Figma resources that you can use immediately after downloading. And now let's take a look at the application and the things you will find in the Figma file. To begin, click on Navigation on the left side. Here you'll find a list of all the elements available in this file. With a simple click, you can navigate to any page. Whether you want to open the button component, screen examples, or the typography system, everything can be found here. Let's click on Screens, which is the first page where you'll find designs. All the included screens can be found here. There are over 120 screens that you can edit. All the screens are organized into different sections. Whether it's the onboarding process, the home page, experiences, trips, or the profile, everything is neatly structured on this page. To show you how the screens are structured, let's take a look at the very first screen. Not only does it contain all of Airbnb's app screens, but also all the components you can reuse. For example, components like buttons can easily be adjusted based on the design needs for your own app. You can modify the type, size, state, and much more. Text elements are also linked to their own typography system. If you decide to change text sizes or styles later on, all the text in the app will automatically update. On the second page, you'll find the Grids section. You can toggle these grids on or off from the right side. For example, if you create a new iPhone frame, you'll find them on the right side under Layout Grid. This is a very useful feature for ensuring your designs remain consistently sized. The next page contains the typography system. Under text styles, you'll find all the font sizes and their specific properties. Of course, you can modify these and replace them with your desired font. You can also adjust the size, line height, or font weight here. Below the typography system, you'll find the color system. All the colors are stored as tokens. You can access and modify these under local variables. All the colors are linked to the components and screens. This means you won't have to manually change colors on each screen, but instead, you can make a few changes in the local variables. To change a color, simply click on the desired color and a menu will open where you can define a new one. Under Icon Set, you'll find all the icons that Airbnb uses in their app. Not only will you find classic 24-pixel icons, but also 4 different sizes for various purposes. Whether you want to customize the bottom navigation icons or replace icons in bottom sheets, here you can create new icons or adjust the existing ones. All the icons are well organized and designed to be customized by you. Of course, we can't forget the page where you can store the app icon, the symbol of your app. What you see here is not the original Airbnb logo, but for your own app, you'll need your own logo anyway. Both an iOS and Android version of the icon are provided. One of the most important elements in the Airbnb app is, of course, the images. Users can upload and display their own photos. To make your designs as realistic as possible, you'll find 4 placeholder images here that you can use in your future app. These are integrated into the app screens as components. If you want to add your own images to the app screens, you'll need to adjust and insert them here. Now, let's move on to a section that's incredibly helpful when building a complete app system. Under Style Settings, you'll find the components. Starting with one of the most popular components, the button. There are a lot of buttons included, with various styles, shapes, and colors. Let's copy one of the buttons and paste it into our workspace. If you want to use it in your designs, you have many customization options. The component is extremely flexible and suitable for almost any use case. Whether you want to change the style, size, or state, everything can be adjusted with just a few clicks. Below the classic button component, you'll find the icon button. This component is structured similarly to the button, but without text. If you want to emphasize clickable icons, use this component instead of classic icons. And of course, you have the same customization options as with the button component. Next, let's move on to another frequently used component, the input field. This allows users to enter and save important information in your app. Here too, you can adjust various settings on the right side. Whether you need a specific size or state, everything can be tailored with just a few clicks. Alongside the classic input field, you'll find the iconic search field, which lets users search for and filter accommodations and experiences. Here too, components like the icon button can be easily adjusted based on the type of button you want to use. After the input field component, we move on to the bottom navigation. This lets you control the navigation at the bottom of the screen. Let's copy the finished bottom navigation and paste it into our workspace. Here, you can adjust the number of elements displayed. You can activate or deactivate tabs. You can adjust the icons in your bottom navigation. No matter which icon you need, they're all already included. You can also easily change the text. There are no more limits to your creativity. After the bottom navigation component, we move on to the page indicator. You'll find this in two different versions. Let's copy one version and take a look at the editing options. You can specify how many indicators should be displayed. You can change the color. And you can decide which indicator should be selected. You might use this component, for example, when you integrate multiple images into your app. By swiping over the image, the indicator changes and the new image is displayed. Next, let's look at the card component. On this page, you'll find many components that you can reuse. Since Airbnb is a very large app with many possibilities, this component has grown quite big. Let's take a look at the card element you'll find on the Airbnb homepage. Here, you can adjust elements like text or badges according to your needs. Further down, you can swap and adjust the previously shown image components. The card component is probably one of the most important components in this design system. It contains the most important element in the entire app, the images. So, take your time to understand the structure and layout of the component. Below the card component, you'll find the bottom sheet component, another frequently used element. This is placed at the bottom of the screen and scrolls with the page, always remaining in the viewport of your smartphone. It's used to make settings, communicate important information, or confirm a booking. If we copy one component as an example, we can once again see the wide variety of editing options on the right side. Elements like buttons or text can be easily customized and replaced. All the components are linked and scalable, in case you want to make changes to the component later on. Next, we move on to the pop-up component. This is mainly used for setting filters to make your search more specific. Unlike the bottom sheet component, the pop-up covers the entire screen, appearing in the center and hiding all other elements. Next, we move on to the chip component. This is particularly useful for filters that allow you to sort by categories or days. Let's copy one of the components from our file. As with all other components, you can switch between different sizes, styles, and states on the right side. After the chips, we move on to avatars. These are used to represent user profiles or within messages to show who you're chatting with and whether the person is online or offline. Let's copy one of our components. In addition to size and state, you can also choose whether to display an icon or a profile picture. Icons are used by default until users upload their own profile picture. The next component is the segmented control. With this, you can switch between two sections within a page of your app. For example, for reservations that have been rejected or accepted. To indicate which section is active, you can switch the status of the individual tabs, and active sections are highlighted with a white background. After the segmented control comes the top navigation. This is placed exclusively at the top of the screen and includes the title of the page, so your users always know which page they're on. Top navigations often scroll with the page, always remaining in the viewport of your smartphone. Alongside the title, you also have the option to place functional icons here. For example, a small pencil in the upper right corner to indicate that users can edit the content of the page with a click. If you want to integrate a messaging feature into your app, the next component is essential. The message component. Let's copy one version. On the right side, you'll find the usual editing options. The example we copied is displayed in the chat preview, giving users an overview of which new or old chats they can view. For new messages, the font weight changes between the variants. This allows users to easily distinguish which chats have new messages and which don't. Next, we move on to the tab control variant. This functions similarly to the segmented control. The only difference is the presentation. Instead of displaying chips side by side, the text is written on a white background. Next, we have the notification component. This appears at the bottom of the screen for just a few seconds and is used to give users quick feedback. For example, when a link has been successfully copied. Next, we have the badge component. You'll find this in the upper left corner of the card component. It's used to mark superhosts or special accommodations. After the badge component, we move on to the line item component. You can use this to integrate lists into your app. For example, if you want to insert a selection of locations. Or you can use the line item for the filter function, where you can set how many people are participating in a trip. Of course, you have the usual editing options on the right side. Next, you'll find the calendar component in the list. You can use this to set how long your trip will last, or to check if the accommodation is available on your desired travel dates. Another extremely important component for your users is the rating. This is used in conjunction with accommodations to show how well they were received by people who have already booked a trip there. Here, you can choose between 1 to 5 stars. But not only are star ratings important, user comments about individual accommodations are too. This way, the pros and cons of a place can be better described. This allows users to get a clearer picture before making a booking. We're slowly approaching the end of the file. Next, you'll find the loading component. You use this when data is being transmitted and you need to bridge a loading state. Instead of showing an empty screen, you use this component to indicate that the app is working in the background and users need to wait a few seconds before proceeding. After this multitude of components, we come to the so-called system components. These are components provided by the respective operating systems, iOS or Android. Examples include toggles, keyboards, or alerts. The editing options for these components are limited, but they are commonly found in apps. The programming effort to integrate these components is particularly low, which makes them popular. Although the design options are limited, you should still use them occasionally to give a realistic view of your app. And with that, our journey through this unique Figma file, available to you for free, comes to an end. All you have to do is click the link in the description. This will take you to my website, where you'll find the download link. And now I hope you have fun creating your own app.